Okay, so welcome back. Um, we actually have somewhat functioning Arch Linux install. Our video card is finally working. Um, right here, our NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 Super. And I think we already have sound working. It looks like it's working. I don't have speakers, but well, maybe it might not work since it's spediff, but don't really think it matters because this computer doesn't have any like speakers anyway, so that's okay. Mostly a development PC. Um, we still need to get Bluetooth working, but I think we can take our time on that. So I want to spend some time today to sort of begin this like ricing out process for our Arch install. Like I want to get a tiling window manager going and just make it look nice, things like that. Just try it out, you know. I actually run like on my day to day in real life. I actually run i3, um, mainly because I'm comfortable with it, and since I run NVIDIA cards, uh, Wayland and NVIDIA still don't really mix well together, so I'm pretty much stuck on X11 at times. Um, yeah, I run i3, but I don't customize it. So this is gonna be the first time I actually am going to customize it. So yeah, let's see how it goes, especially in Arch, because I don't really use Arch. I've just been following instructions on the internet, and but it's good because since we have a GUI now, we can actually just like look up stuff as we go along. So um, let's start with our console here, and let's actually customize this to have a bigger font now. Let's see, custom font. Let's just do source code, and then let's make it 16. Okay. Um, will that work if we were to? I think it's called console. No. Why? Uh, maybe it's too big. Huh. Use system default. So I'm guessing. Ah, there we go. Okay. Cool. So I think that's big enough. Okay. And I think let's start with actually installing. We already have base devel, and I think we already have Git. Yeah, we already have Git. Uh, we need the entire Xorg package. I3 WM, I3 status bar, D menu. I would like to get Firefox, and then I want another custom bar aside from the default I3 bar. So I'll use polybar, and then I want to try out a custom terminal called Alacrity. I want to customize that too. So I think the commands are just like sudo pacman s, and I think it's going to be i3wm, and that's the main i3. I3 status to emit statuses off from the i3 bar, which um, you'll see later. D menu to run stuff. Firefox because I need a better web browser than the one I'm using right now. Polybar, which is the custom bar that we'll see, and then Alacrity. Okay, so let's install that, and then I think the entire Xorg package. I don't think I installed all of it, so let's just do that, and then let's see where we go from there. Okay, oops. Okay, so I'm just gonna do default all. Uh, fonts, Noto fonts. IBM Plex looks cool too. Hmm. Yeah, let's just do Noto fonts. There are two providers for ManDB or ManDoc. Let's do core. So default one. It's gonna be 138 megs extra to install. Okay, let's do that. Should be pretty fast. Just down a bunch of fonts. i3 installed. Okay, and then after that, um, I think it's safe to just boot into i3 and get a default uh, backlight stuff. We don't need it. This is a desktop, so yeah, we don't need Xorg X backlight. Whatever. But yeah, let's actually try to boot into i3 now and then see what happens. I think we can just go from there. So let's just do reboot. So that's hopefully like the last we see from GNOME for a very long time. And let's try to navigate our way through i3. Okay, so let's pick Arch. Okay, so I'm gonna type my password, but then here, down here at the very edge here, I get to choose no i3. Oh, that's disappointing. Wonder what's going on. Did i3 not install? Let's see. Console. If I were to just do pacman -s xorg i3, we need xorg for sure. Oh, huh. Oh, it wasn't successful, huh? Hmm. How can we do everything but xorg x backlight? Let's just see what happens. So total download size, we just need that xorg x backlight. Okay, so let's actually do this. Let's use Firefox. Let's bring up our Firefox skills. Firefox. Did we? Oh, we didn't even install that one either because everything failed. Okay, let's do this again. Let's actually do everything except for Xorg. So we do pacman xy. I think i3wm, i3 status, dmenu Firefox, polybar, and alacrity. Oh, keep forgetting. Okay. Wait. Okay. Okay, so do we have Firefox? Oh, there we go. It just took a while. Okay. So, let's see what's up with this X backlight thing. Let's do Arch Xorg X backlight 44. This is not what we want. Actually, let's see what happens if we do sudo pacman sy xorg. Let's just do that. That. Oh, that worked. It's bizarre. Huh? Huh. Weird. Okay, well, let's reboot one more time and it'll be okay. Okay, let's reboot. So we've installed everything. I don't know why this time the Xorg X backlight works. I like to reboot just to make sure. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, moment of truth, lower corner. Yeah, we have I3. Okay, so let's select I3 and let's get into it. And we'll be presented with this dialog box here. It says, you have not configured I3 yet. Do you want me to generate config at home roger.config i3 config? Why, yes, let's generate the config by pressing enter. Please choose either win as your default modifier. I know it's small, but that's what it says. We'll fix that later. So yeah, let's choose win instead of alt. So enter to write the config. And we are here. We are in I3. It looks like nothing except for like a bar. So we'll have a status bar and then we'll have just a blank screen, but at least we can run stuff with dmenu by doing super key. So our mod key for I3 is gonna be the super key. So we can do super key D to get to where we want to go. In this case, I wonder if we can actually go to a terminal. So we do mod enter. At least we're in a terminal, and I think this is Alacrity, so we installed that. And here we can actually start doing stuff, configuring. Right now the screen is it's fine for me because I'm on that 4K screen, but it might look really small on video. So let's fix that by actually changing the scaling for X11. What that entails is just creating a file on our home directory. It's a hidden file called X resources with a capital X. And then after that, we just do xft.dpi with a colon, and let's just bring it up to 200%. So 200. And when we're done with that, I think it just requires us logging out. So we can do mod shift E, and then we'll just exit up here. And then hopefully when we log in again, everything seems a little bit bigger. No, we might have to we might have to reboot, huh? Let's see. Or maybe this is 200. Let's see. Let's just reboot. Actually, and here they say that Linux doesn't need a reboot often. I beg to differ. All right. I think we rebooted at least like 5 times already. I think this is at 200. Huh. Or maybe, let's see. So let's do this. Let's go and look at the X resources again. Maybe this is 200. I think this is 200. I think our bar is just really small. Okay. So what if then? I'm just not used to this. Okay, so I think we're at 200. We just need to change our font size now. I think our font size is just small. So let's start by configuring i3. So we'll just go to our configuration file in our home directory .config i3 config file. And I think here's where we're going to start doing stuff. So of course, this file has been auto-generated by the i3 config wizard. It will not be overwritten, so edit it as you like. Okay. And it is important. You can always rerun i3 config wizard to regenerate this file. You just delete this file and then run i3 config wizard. Okay. So yeah, set $mod 4 that corresponds to the super key that we have to be like our modifier key to do stuff in i3. Then we have font here, Pango. Okay, this is the font that we use for window titles. Um, will also be used by the bar unless a different font is used in the bar block below. Okay, yeah, this is where we want. Right now it's size 8, which is why it's super small. You know what? Let's make it size 12 and see how it goes. Okay, so now the one thing we can do now to see our changes immediately whenever we make changes in i3 is to just do a refresh or like a reload of i3 by doing Mod Shift R, and I think that's starting to look better already. Yeah, let's actually go for font size 14 and Mod Shift R, and that looks pretty good. I think that's good enough for recording and things like that. We still want screen real estate for coding. So yeah, um, so they recommend that we use Deja Vu Sans Mono for now. So let's just do that. So right now it's monospace. So let's do Deja Vu Sans Mono, and we'll do our own custom font later. Let's do the Cascadia Mono later. But for now, this will be good enough. And it looks okay. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. All right. Um, okay. So auto start i3. We don't want to mess with that. Um, this one is, what is this one? XSS lock, transfer sleep lock, i3 lock, no fork. So this is a lock screen. This is network manager. So we will start up network manager. It will let us have a tray icon later when we configure the bar. Right now, let's not care too much about that. This is like volume keys to raise audio volume. We'll worry about this later. Floating modifier to drag floating windows to their wanted position. I rarely ever use floating windows, so yeah, we don't need that. Tile dragging, sometimes I use the mouse to drag windows. So here's an example. I'm going to do another console here, and we do that with oops. We do that with doing the mod enter. So super enter will bring your default console like this. And if you want to quit um, Windows, is just super shift Q, super shift Q. Anyway, so tiling modifier means that we can just actually take a tile and like get the title bar and then just kind of move it around like we would in like a Mac or a Windows computer, like so. So we can put things at the top, things at the bottom. We could also put things on the left or the right and the left. I normally don't do that. I actually do Mod Shift arrow keys. So that's how I do it. And I think it's more, it's quicker. I don't really use the mouse that much, but it's good to know and have. Oopsie. You again. So, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, normal. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on? What's going on? Wait. Oh, I'm on a different keyboard mode. I think I accidentally hit caps lock. That's why. Okay, go again. All right. So, yeah. So we're here now. Okay. So now i3 sensible terminal. That's basically what i3 thinks is the best terminal to use whenever you do the mod return, right? Mod return. So your super key and the return key will execute i3 sensible terminal. I want to be more explicit, and I'll just do alacrity. Okay, and exit means to run the program. Kill focused window, Mod Shift Q, like we have been using. So kill the active window right here. Okay, and D menu, that's our program launcher. So if we were to do mod D, you see up here, we have our program launcher. We're gonna replace that with something nicer soon because it's kind of hard to tell what programs you want to do. You have to like really know the binary name in order to run anything. So I don't even know how to start the file manager. I think for what's called like Nautilus, right? So it's like not immediately obvious, right? Like Nautilus, but then you kind of want it to be like files or something, but you don't get anything here because it's not the name of the binary. So we'll fix that later with a better menu. Change focus on your tiles, mod J, mod K, mod L, mod semicolon. So it's kind of like the sort of like the HJKL movement in Vim. Not quite. I don't really use that as much. Maybe I should probably change it, but then like the thing is that I'm used to having HJKL, and so but the problem is that H is used elsewhere in this config file, and I don't really want to mess with this, so I just usually stick to arrow keys anyway. Move focus window, I showed you that already with the mod shift. This is just regular focusing, so if I were to do this again, and watch carefully, if I were to just do mod up and down, you see I haven't moved windows, I just focusing windows, okay? So that's one thing. I'm happy with these so far. You can move with cursor keys. Yeah, we know that. Split in the horizontal orientation. Okay, how do I explain this? Split in, I guess mod H, and then we can run Firefox. No, this. I don't even know what this does. Split in a horizontal. So if I were to run something again, oops, I don't even know why I just run. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so here's a trick. So we do mod W. Okay, there we go. I see. Okay, so if I do mod V, that would make everything okay. Complicated. Let's not think about that right now. Let's not talk about these right now. We'll explain it later as we go along. But anyway, I love this one, mod full screen. Mod F is to full screen something. So let's just say I'm gonna bring up Firefox again. So I'll bring up Firefox again. I want a full screen Firefox. I can just do this. And that toggles full screen so that we can get this like nice effect where we're not distracted anymore. Like remember how like we used to do Excalidraw and kind of just whiteboard a little bit, and I would have to like always like maximize the screen and all that stuff. Now I can just do it with the keystroke, so that's cool. Okay, yeah, like you can also I guess I should bring out Firefox. Mod S, mod W, mod E allows you to kind of just range things differently. So for example, you can have tab mode, okay? You can also have stacking mode, so up and down instead. And then you can also go back to normal split mode. So yeah, options. Again, I don't really use toggle floating toggle, so forget that. Change focus between tiling and floating windows. I don't really use that. Yeah, I just don't use floating in general. Focus apparent container. I think that's also for floating stuff. Okay, cool. Now this is the workspace stuff. Okay, so if you look down here on this bar, you have this number 1 here. So that's our workspace. We have 1 workspace, but we actually are allowed 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I did this, I have a new workspace. If I did this, I have 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now they disappear if you don't have any windows. So what I can do is I can either go to the workspace, start up the app I want, and I can always do mod 1 to go back to 1, mod 2, go back to the second workspace. Now, if let's say, let's do Nautilus again. I'm here, right? And I'm active on this pane, this Nautilus pane. I could actually move it to any pane I want. So I do mod shift 3 to get it back to the 3rd workspace. And then, 2, 1, it all exists, right? So let's quit out of here. Let's go back to 1. Notice that when we quit, all windows in the 3rd workspace or any workspace, they just disappear. So your workspace disappears. That's what I meant. So yeah, this is switch mod 1, mod 2, mod 3, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and again, what I just said, mod shift, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Reload the configuration file and then restart i3 in place. I usually just do the mod shift R to just kind of reload everything, all my config changes and everything. And then mod shift E is to get out of your session, back to the login screen. And then resizing windows. Okay, so you can actually specify to resize a window. For example, I do mod R, you'll get into this thing called resize mode, you see right here. What you can do is you can then resize windows in any direction you want as long as it makes sense. So I can't do up and down. I can't grow or shrink height, but I can do width because they're split in that way. Let's say I want another window to change, so I want to do Firefox instead. I'll do mod R again. I'll resize Firefox with the arrow keys, and it goes with 10 pixels at a time, which I think is fine. So yeah. Back to normal, enter escape. So yeah, to get out of resize, if you're here, you can either do escape, or you can do enter, or you can just do mod R again. So simple as that. And now here's the bar. So the bar is just basically how you want to configure your bar. That's actually a different configuration file, like to determine what you want here. Is different. And for now, I think here's where we can configure the position of the bar. I actually don't like it on the bottom like this. It's really confusing for me. I like things at the top. So we can actually, I think, simply in this file, we can say position top, and then that will move the bar up. So we do mod shift R, that actually moves the bar to the top now. Awesome. So this is good. Let's full screen this. So notice now it's like our bar is not there. We'll full screen. Let's actually do this. Let's quit that. Let's go configure our bar. So that's a different place. That's going to be in i3 status. No, i3 bar. No, this is an i3 status. Let's look at our config. So we have i3. Okay, we don't have an i3 status, so we're gonna have to configure that out ourselves. So we can make dir p config i3 status. We'll just have a directory there, and we're gonna copy our default configuration for our bar into this because that's a priority. It's like i3 will look at all configs in your home.config directory before the global one, which is in etc. Yeah. Oh, I also want to know how light i3 is. Look at this. It's only one gig of RAM being used in the whole system right now, and I have 128. So yeah, super lightweight. Okay, so where is the default i3 status? So the i3 status is basically the configuration that deals with showing us this information on top here. So what is it? What is that? So let's see. That is in I think etc i3. Yeah, i3 status conf. So you look at here, this is like the default configuration file. Let's not mess with it. Let's actually copy that over to our directory that we just created right there. And then let's actually let's actually mess with it on that side. Okay. So if I do i3 status, i3 status.conf, I believe we can just mess around with this, and then we can just reload i3, and then everything will just work. So this is a desktop, so we don't need any battery, so we can just delete that line here. So how this works is that you define like the modules here down here. So for example, we have battery, right? That does all the config, and it's actually documented. So if we were to then go to i3 status configuration, we see i3 status here. It has all the details on how you can actually configure the i3 status. And how you actually determine what displays here is the order here, which we deleted the battery, right? We deleted the battery. So now if we were to actually save it and reload i3, do we still have this battery thing? Oh, we do. Um, let's actually get rid of something else first. Let's do we need wireless? Yeah. How about IPv6? Let's get rid of IPv6. So we can do that. It may be that we're not loading with the specific config. So let's go back to i3. So it could be that, yeah, see here, i3 status is not actually being run with our config. So we need the default configuration file path, and that is actually in the .config i3 status config file, not i3 conf that we have. So let's actually rename that file. See, we did i3 status.conf. It should be called config. So we can rename that. We can just do mv.config i3 status i3 status.conf, and then let's just move it back to i3 status config. Okay, now we reload. All right, cool. We lost the battery thing. So that's expected in IPv6. So we're at a good place. So yeah, I encourage, there's a lot of information, but I encourage to look at the i3 docs at i3wm.org. That'll contain all the necessary information on how to do this. But for now, I'll just do something basic. So okay, so I'm pretty happy with all this actually. Except that I do want the seconds here, just because. And I think we can just modify the TZ local. So let's do this. TZ time. And then in the documents, it'll tell us how to do that with formatting. So the date is formatted like YMD, which is what we have here. I like that. But what about time? Time here. So example format is, oh, it's just like the regular formatting string. So we need to look at stir F time for details on the format string. So, okay, so let's actually then open up another Alacrity terminal, and let's exercise some of our i3 skills. So let's actually make it so that our Firefox and this Alacrity terminal are in the same pane, but we'll just switch them as tab mode, but keep this one on the side here. So what I tend to do is I first get into the tab mode. Oops, I just slid it, but get into the tab mode. And then what I do is then I actually then I think just push this out, and then I actually then oops, wrong one, push out. I push this one out, and then I leave these two the way they are. So yeah, basically what you want to do is you want to get into tab mode from all your split windows. Find the window you want to bring out, do mod shift and then control it by moving around. See how this terminal window goes from like the first to second to third. If I push it out one more time, it gets out of the split, and then if I bring it back in, it just cycles back into this container here, and I can push this one back out. So then that's how I can control the panes. So yeah, no mouse needed, right? So let's actually then now go back and look at stir F time to find the how to format our time string, but apparently we don't have stir F time. Is that even the right thing? Stir F time. Do we even have anything in our man? Let's see. Man print F. Okay, we do. So what is stir F time? Let's look at it. Is that even a C thing? Oh, it's a Python thing. Ah, okay. So how does it work? I want seconds because I like seconds. Okay. Okay. So format code. Second as a zero padded decimal number. Okay, so big S. Oh, it is. Oh, okay, so that's there. Oh, that's been here all along. Okay, great. Interval, it just happens to interval update every 5 seconds. I'm aggressive. Let's do every 1 second and let's reload. Nice. Now it's every second. Okay. I also want a 12-hour clock. I don't want 24-hour, and I think H is actually 24 hours. So I'm gonna do dash percent I instead, capital I right here. So yeah, I'm happy with this. This is very minimal, but not very useful because we don't have some tray icons. Do we need tray icons? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, let's just move on for now. Um, Actually, we do need tray icons for certain things, I believe. Yeah, for this we could say sound, maybe sound, because maybe one day we might want to put speakers, and then we also need the network connection manager, like a Wi-Fi thing, in case we need to connect to Wi-Fi. But let's experiment first. Let's actually install the Pulse Audio system tray to see if we can get a system tray going. So what we can do is we can do Pacman, I think S P A sys tray. Oops. Okay. And if we were to do that, do we get it? Huh. But do we have Pulse Audio? Do we have Pulse Audio? No, we don't have. I don't even. Oh wait, we used Pipewire, didn't we? Okay. No matter. It's okay. We'll move on. Huh. Let's actually do the network connection manager. Sys tray. So unwanted network manager tray applet. Network manager system tray applet. So what is this one? NM applet. So it's called NM applet. We don't have it. So can we install it with Arch? NM applet or in Arch? It is there already. Oh, it's called network connection applet. Network manager applet? No. Or system tray applet. Oh, it's an extra. Okay, so let's try it. Let's do sudo pacman-s network manager applet. Oh, we didn't ever had it installed. Okay. And then that's gonna be called nm applet. So if I did this, would that appear? Huh. Let's look at i3 status for tray. Let's do tray. Oh, i3 bar. It all comes with tray support and can display the status output. Okay, so can we get the tray? It should be automatic or something. Let's see. Oh, right here. Interesting. Okay, that took a while. So how come that doesn't work when I reload i3? Let's look at our config. So we can do nm applet. Oops. Maybe it's called, oh, I think it's exec always. Most likely. Just to force it. Yeah. But I don't want to. Should I always exit always? If I do that, it's always going to make another instance. So let's do this. Let's do kill all or exec. Exec always. What I'm trying to say is that if I were to reload this again, I'll get 2 nm applets, I believe. So I want to kill the current nm applet with kill all. So this is how we actually Execute commands is just like how you would do in a terminal. Then after that, we'll execute in a maplet. So we don't get like two of these, or I don't even know what the effect is. All right, let's try it. My Shift R. That didn't work. So, let's see. If I did that, that works. If I did this again, would that work? Oh, it looks like it kind of knows. Looks like it kind of knows. We'll trust it. So exec always. But I bet you that if we were to do exec and then restart, we would get it anyway. So I'm going to leave it like this. I think on the next time we restart, it'll actually run it properly. Difference between exec and exec always is I think exec only runs once in like when you start the computer. And then exec always is that whenever you reload i3, it'll just run it anyway, no matter what in place. So okay, so this is like audio stuff. I don't care about that. We have no audio. So yeah, this is our tray. Um, this is this is cool. So I've showed you guys like the default uh i3 bar. Is there anything we can do here? Let's see. i3 status. Do we care about disk? We don't care about disk. Forget that. Do we care about CPU load? I didn't even notice it. We care about memory, that's for sure. We want to know how much memory we have, but I think I think it's kind of confusing with the way it's written here, where it's like 2.2 pipe 122. And it's like available. I can't tell what that is, so I'm going to change it to something like over, like used over, and maybe total. Okay. If I were to do that and run again, there we go. We'll have 2.2 gigabytes out of 125. Okay, we're on 10 gig E, and this is our internal IP address. So yeah, minimal bar, pretty good. Still not quite riced out, huh? Okay, so now there's a different type of bar that we could use, and it's called polybar, and it's really sleek. Just look it up. So, yeah, this one. So this is called Polybar. It's what we installed initially, and it looks pretty nice. It's like slick. It looks like this. It's hard to see. You know what? Let's full screen that, and let's zoom in a little and get the recording up. Yeah, so it looks like that. It's just more colorful, looks more modern, more configurable, yada 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 yada. So we can try getting that. Well, we already have it, but we try configuring that. So let's start on that and see what the difference is. We can run both at the same time at first just to see. Okay. So it's just another program. That's all it is, and it has pretty much more or less the same thing. It just has its own configuration file. So, and that's documented really well. So here is a documentation on the repo, and then yeah, we just start with polybar, and then there's a default configuration in your config folder. I think the default is here in etc polybar config.ini. So we can just start with that. So if we were to just cat out the etc polybar config.ini, we see that we get a bunch of stuff already available to us. So let's just copy that over. So we could make dir p config directory polybar config.ini. And then we could just, oops, did I just make a directory called config ini? That's rm rf. So we'll delete that folder, and we should just now have config polybar. Okay, so let's just cp etc polybar config.ini, and then let's bring that into our polybar config directory. And then from here, let's actually edit it. Okay, So polybar, that's what the config looks like. And here are the colors. Okay, so this is what the config looks like. For now, let's just leave it the way it is, and then let's actually move to here and let's start it up. Really, let's see what happens. So um, I just manually started a polybar by typing polybar, and you'll probably notice here it's like really super small. It just started up right under my current bar. So this is how we're gonna actually like test a little bit. Like we're gonna modify, then we're gonna run. We'll modify, run until we like it, and then we'll bring it into uh i3. Okay, so going to resize it. Actually, I'm gonna keep resizing it so that it's like makes sense, like this way. All right. So now what we want to do, the first thing we want to do is we want to make this thing bigger. It's such a small bar. So I think it's here, height. Let's make the height instead of 24, let's try 48 first. And this is how we're going to do this. Okay, so we made 48, we saved it, and then we're going to start it up. And it does look a little bit bigger. Okay, let's make it slightly bigger. So let's go back. Oops. Yeah, let's go back. Actually, let's bring it like this. Okay, let's go back and then make it 64 instead. So 64 pixels, and then let's see how that looks like. Um, okay, that's looking better. Now we just need to make the font bigger. So we have enough space now. We just need to make the font bigger. So how do we do that? So separator here, we define variables. So there's a bunch of variables. So I think here is where we need to look at the docs, right? So I'm guessing it's right here, font 0, monospace 2, but I don't know what this means. So let's actually look at the docs and see what that actually means. So in Polybar, we have all this here, and I think this is where we will be configuring. Let's see, configuring syntax uses the INI format. Okay, referencing values, so it's kind of like variable based. Inheritance. Okay, blah blah blah. I just want my font. So okay, that's a lot of stuff. But we'll just keep finding where the fonts are at. Let's look at maybe, I guess it could be text. Yeah, maybe. No, that's just regular text. Can we just search it? Let's just search it. Fonts. There we go. It's right here. Fonts. Okay, so we can specify many different types of fonts. It's one property. It's a one-based index of available fonts. Okay, I don't know what that means, but sure. So it's going to be the font name, the size or the pattern, I guess. Either pixel size or like the regular traditional size. The weight of the font, I usually like bold, so I'm going to go with bold. And then vertical offset. Not sure what that means, but we'll figure it out. Let's experiment. So this is the format. Font, size, weight, offset. And it looks like offset is only one. Let me make it bigger. Offset is like the only thing that has like a semicolon. Okay. Let's bring that here and let's use this as a reference. Okay, so where were we? Right here, monospace. I think we were looking for Deja Vu Sans or something like that. And then it was, oops, we want to keep that as 2. It's colon, size. Let's make it 14. Save that. And then let's go to here and start Polybar again. And okay, the font changed and it's not what I want. It's actually, I think maybe sans mono. And the size is not quite what I want either. Okay, it looks like it's monospaced again, but Yeah, the size of the font is not what I want. So, huh? Size equals 11. Is that still just too small? 14 is small. How about if I did 20? Would that even make an impact? Oh, it does. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're getting somewhere. Okay. So now let's make it bold. So we can add a colon here. Weight is bold. Let's see what happens. Okay. Starting to look pretty good. All right. I wonder what vertical offset means. If we were to just say change this to 8, for example, what would that do? Oh, it looks like it shifts it down more. Okay. No, I want vertical offset 1 then. I want it like tight. Okay. But that looks kind of odd, right? Like now the bottom looks bigger. So I think 2 looks good. Let's keep it at 2. And then let's increase the font size just slightly more. We have the space for it. So let's do 22. Okay, 22 looks good. 22 looks good. Great. All right, so let's see what we have available for us. Okay, we have file system. So this is like the same thing. I guess modules left is going to be our workspaces right here. Okay, see how it kind of syncs with i3, the i3 bar? Because I think internally it both uses like the i3 status, which is like a process that runs in the background that kind of updates all of this stuff. So um, yeah, I think the modules right is everything that's like on the right here. And then without reading the docs, you have, the tray, which I believe should have appeared with the applet, but this module is not active by default. To enable it, add it to one of the modules listed above. Oh, it's not there. Okay, let's do that. So how do we name it? Is sys tray like this? Okay, let's see. Because I'm guessing, where's a tray? Oh, tray. Tray? X workspaces. They call it X workspaces here. X window file system. Okay. So it's supposed to be called systray. They're referencing it by the title up here. Huh. Only a single tray can exist at a time. Ah. Okay, so it's because of this one here. This i3 bar. Okay. Let's be brave. You know what we should do? Let's hide this regular i3 bar and start testing it. So let's go back and edit our i3 config where we have bar here. Let's be brave and comment it out. So only one tray can be active at the same time. If that's the case, if i3 bar is not using the tray, I'm guessing it's a system thing. If it's not using this, technically, that gives us the opportunity, so I reloaded without it. That gives us the opportunity to have polybar take that sys tray. So we do that. It's exactly how I thought it would be. So yeah, it looks like we have the sys tray up here. Cool. Yeah, I don't think we need file system. This is like the file system here. So let's get rid of that. Volume, pulse audio. Does this even work? You know what? Let's not have this for now. And then we don't even need this keyboard thing here. This is like the region I'm guessing. Okay. And then we don't even need the CPU either. Okay. We might need this one day, but I feel like the network manager is going to help us understand that. Ugh. Yeah, one day we'll come back to it when we do need it. So let's get rid of that. And yeah, that looks enough. Yeah, use clicking pointer IPC, sure, whatever that means. Okay, now let's actually start looking into this deeper. I think we want to edit memory because memory doesn't tell us. It just tells us percentage, which is kind of lame. So how do we do this? Well, here's where we look at the docs again. First, let's save this and then let's reload polybar so it looks like what we want. So we have RAM, we have network, and then we also have our time. And then notice how, like right here, if we take a look here, notice how this title bar always reflects what's active. And I think in the config, it is basically on the X window part. So you know how the modules define an X window? This X window is right here. So it looks like it takes the title of the window and it takes the first 60 characters and does like a dot 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 if uh, the title is too long. So yeah. So let's look at memory. So let's take a look at the polybar documentation. We have memory right here. And it looks like there's an interval update, so every 2 seconds here. Again, I'm aggressive. Let's just do one. I like to use my CPU cycles. And then format prefix, that's the RAM here. The foreground color is going to be looking like the yellow one here, but the label is the percentage used. Okay, I think this is what we want to change. I don't think this is very helpful. So format. Here, this is the token. So GB used over GB total. I bet you that's what it is. So I did GB used and do this over GB total. Save it. And then let's actually kill polybar again and then start it up. It's exactly what I thought. Yeah. So we have 3.56 gigs out of 128 gigs used. Wow, why is our RAM just climbing? Is it because of Firefox? Let's see. Oh, it might be. Okay. Oh, it might be this too. Watch. Oh, it was that. Okay. Big tab. Big tab. But I need this for formatting later. Okay, we'll keep that open. Okay. So we have our RAM configured, and then let's look at our Ethernet network base. Yeah, we could say connected, disconnected. WLAN, no, that's not it. We need Ethernet. So, do we care about the interface name? I don't think so. So this is the interface name here. We can get rid of all of that. We just want the local IP. So we can do that. And then the date here, right now it's just doing hours and minutes. But I think we wanted 12-hour time rather than 24-hour time. So we do I. Then we want like S2. And then intervals every second. That's true. Date alt. See, so that's just a time, and if we want to find our day, we can just click on it to get the day. I kind of want to display that all the time, so let's do that. Let's do, we don't need the year, let's do the month and the day. Then we were to go and reload polybar like this, then we get the month and the day. So that's cool. Yeah, this is pretty good. But now we need to bring that into i3. So if you take a look at, if I were to reload i3, you see how there's nothing now because we shut off the bar. So let's go back to our i3 config. And it's going to be a little different. Since polybar is a program, let's go back to where we have our bar here. And then let's actually just start our bar under here. I think it's going to be exec always. No startup ID. Is that how we do it? Exec always. Yeah, no startup ID. Okay, and then we'll do polybar. I think we'll start in the background like that. So we were to mod shift R, we'll have polybar. So i3 is starting that um, automatically. Okay, so we have the contents of our polybar, good. But if I were to move my shift R again, I'll have two polybars. I don't like that because it's just gonna blindly always execute, and then you'll have two in the background now. So let's actually kill all polybar here and fix that. I don't know how to fix that. I think it's just like we need to probably like again like do something like exec always no startup ID kill all polybar. But I think what we need to do is that there could be like a race condition where the kill might not happen in time. So we need to figure out how to actually execute like a quick sleep, maybe like a 1 second sleep or something like that. So command bash command to sleep for 1 second. So this is like wait for a second. So let's do that. Bash sleep. I think it's just sleep. Sleep one S. So let's do that. Exec always startup ID sleep 1S. Let's do that. So if I do this again, that didn't work. Okay. Can we do something like this? Ah, there we go. Good. Let's try it one more time. So it's required that we sleep, followed by finishing sleep. We'll start polybar in the background. Okay. So that's what this command is, right? Bash command sleep 1 second. When you're done successfully, start polybar in the background. Cool. We're starting to look pretty good here. Now let's actually go back to our polybar config and config ini, and then let's kind of mess with the visuals of the bar a little bit. Like yellow, but it's not my thing. I like capuchin, so let's make it capuchin. So if I were to go up here, there's like colors defined, so that's like a theme. I also don't like how there's like a radius. Like I don't know if you can notice on video, but at the edge here, there's like it's a kind of rounded. I don't like rounded, so I'm going to just do this. Make a radius 0, and I'm going to reload. And hopefully, yeah, there we go. So it's no longer round. And let's get a capuchin theme. Let's like replace all this with the capuchin colors. So let's do this. Polybar capuchin. So we'll do mocha. We'll do mocha. So if we were to just go in here and just do mocha ini, and I think if we just copy and paste, we should be good, right? So polybar, capuchin polybar things mocha ini. So we just make a new line and then go into insert mode and then we do Control Shift V. Oops, Control Shift V. Okay, so we'll have colors here, and I think the indentation's off. So let's go to visual mode, go all the way up, indent it back. Okay, and here we're going to just start slowly like removing colors and replacing it with these things here. So let's try it out. Background colors dot background. I think for capuchin, it's actually base. It's called colors dot base. So background will be actually colors dot base. We can try that out by just doing this. And there we go. It's slightly different color. It's kind of like a purplish black. Foreground, in this case, we can leave out like that. And I'm gonna use pink as like the highlighting color. So separator foreground. That's fine. Okay, so here we go. active background. So like I think it's just like when your workspace here, like when it's active, what's the background color? Right now it looks like a light gray, but I want to see if lavender looks good. We have lavender up here somewhere, lavender. And for underline, let's do pink. Let's do that, and then let's run that again just to check. Ooh, that's ooh. Well, let's do this. Label active foreground. Let's make it a different color. Let's make it dark. Surface 0 is going to be a darker color. No, a brighter color. Let's make it darker color. Darker color. Surface 0. Oh, it is. Oh, that was like an overlay. Yeah, surface 0 is 313244. That is kind of dark. Let's try that. So surface 0. Oops. Does that look better? Yeah, it does look better. Look at that. So we have lavender pink underlines here. So it's starting to look good. Urgent background. Let's make that red. I like urgent to be red. Empty foreground. Colors. Not sure. I don't know what that is, but it's okay. What else do we have here? RAM, memory. So colors primary, let's do pink here for the font color for the prefix. So we would just do that again. RAM becomes pink. And we'll just do the same thing for like the rest of these things. Like for example, date. We'll just change this to pink. And that's pretty good, I think. Yeah. For IP, do we even care to make it a different color? Should we? Kind of like, nah, let's leave it. So good. We have a pretty decent polybar now. I like this. This is nice, clean, simple. We have a way to control our networking. Should we, something go wrong in our stream, or at least not stream, but like recording. Next is going to be this here, this i3 window. It's like ugly. It's blue. Um, yeah, I've been going kind of long already though, so I'll do that next time, and then we'll do Alacrity and we'll do other things too. But yeah, it's a good start. It's looking good. So I'll make the config files available once I get the repo cloned and everything. So yeah, thanks.